Hello, this is Annette with Project Refine Life. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this look into some of the decks that I have pulled out that I would like to work with in the month of February. Not all of them. I know I'm not going to have time for all of them, but we're strictly talking about tarot here because the tarot decks will kind of indicate to me what oracle decks I'm going to work with, and I'm not going to get into all of that, but I'm going to share with you today 10 decks that I'm putting into a basket, and I'm going to be very intentional about trying to work with these 10 decks, or not all of them, but some of these decks within the month of February. Now, I brought this one out because this is actually one of my beyond the 10 kind of a deal. This is Remembering the Sweet Fool. I started working with this in January and I have just fallen in love with this deck. It is so beautiful and it is so good for this time of the year where it's a little colder and I say that and I'm in Arizona where, you know, our cold is not anything near anybody else's cold. But this deck is just so gorgeous and I'm not ready to put this thing away, so it's not going anywhere. So this is kind of my honorable mention because I am going to keep working with this deck, and the other decks are a little bit more intentional when it comes to like self-love, but this is just, oh my goodness, it is beautiful. And I'll talk more about this in my monthly wrap-up, which I don't know if this video will come out before or after that video, but this is Remembering the Sweet Fool, and I just had to bring it out and mention it because that is one of my honorable mentions. And then I'll add one more honorable mention at the end of the video as well. So I'm going to share a total of 12 with you here today. So this is the Tarot of, or Tarot Theose, and this little cute deck. I love this deck for February. It is so sweet. It is this tiny little deck with all these cute little images, and it's so sweet. I just think it is adorable, and I like to work with this deck around this time. Look at this. Look at how sweet it is. You know, sometimes I look at other decks out there and I'm like, oh, I really like that. And then I think, wait a minute, Annette, you have this deck here. Just focus on that because it's really a sweet deck, and the images are enough for you to use your RWS type knowledge or any guidebook if you need a guidebook to guide you through, but I think there's enough here for it, and I really do like the size. It does have this little fold out guidebook, and it's good. I mean, it has enough for you to read the tarot, but really you don't need, I don't think you really need the guidebook. It kind of cues you in a little bit more, but I don't really think that it's actually like necessary. Oh, is that one? Yeah, another one got stuck in there. I do that quite often. I meant to talk about that, but that's a conversation for another video. But this is the Tarot Theose. So this is going to be in my box. Another one is the Terok by Mr. Freiborg. This thing is so, so beautiful. I really love everything about this deck. The backs are just absolutely gorgeous. These images, I mean, they're amazing. I know that he's in the process, or he was talking about making another deck, and I'm so in because this is just an amazing deck. So this is one of the decks that I definitely plan on using in February or maybe into the spring because it just has these beautiful light colors within it. It's just such a gorgeous deck. Oh my goodness. Just looking at it, just it is so, so pretty. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. So for me, you know, Valentine's Day, yes, I'm married, I have a husband, all the things, you know, but it's about self-love for me. So this is the Self-Love Tarot, and it always is for me. It's always more about, you know, how are you doing, Annette? How are you feeling? Because if I'm having negative feelings and thoughts about myself, then it's going to kind of take its place within my relationship. So the Self-Love Tarot is one of these decks that I just, it just brings me so much joy with all the gold foiling inside, the bright colors. It is a deck, it's one of those decks that you pull when you just need tenderness, when you just need a hug. It is a hug deck in a sense, but it reads really, really well. I really, really enjoy this deck. So yeah, this is definitely going in the cart for my February decks. And this is a new thing for me to put decks within the cart. I think I did that once before, a couple of years ago, where I had some decks in a basket. I did. And it worked out well because at that time, I was reading my cards downstairs. So I'm just going to have to ignore the fact that I'm up here next to all of my decks and just reach out of what's available in the basket. So this is kind of like a little study, guys. So let's see how we do at the end of the month, which decks I use. Now, most of these are really pouring more into that February Valentine's type time. So midway, I'm going to see how I feel about what I'm working with and if I need to shift anything. But I think I have plenty to choose from here. So this is the Inner Light Tarot. This is a deck that I got in 2023, and I really haven't spent all that much time with it, a little bit of time, but it's full of these beautiful yoga poses. I was hoping that this particular guidebook would again talk about the poses and how they relate to what they chose, you know, why they chose that pose for this particular card. I mean, I can see some of that, like this with the Hermit. She's not in a pose right here, but there are several of them. Eight of Wands, look at that. That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. I really like the art in this card. And this one just brings me this sense of peace and just calling myself in. It's a really meditative, almost type deck for me because it really pulls me in to how I'm feeling. And for me, a big expression within my life is yoga and the movement and working through feelings and thoughts and emotions and seasons and moon shifts and changes. I work with all that through yoga. Yoga is an expression of all these movements, all these thoughts, all these ideas, all these changes. Those movements facilitate working through that. So to have a deck with all of this in here, I mean, it's just beautiful. And the colors are just perfect for this time. Look at that, all that. There we go. That's what I need. I need like a weekend with some girls and some wine. Probably my sister, because I love my sister so much. And we haven't had that time. But you know what? Me and my sister get together. We really don't go out and like drink. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I can think of a couple of friends that might might be able to get together for a couple of drinks and maybe an afternoon at the spa or something. So this is the Inner Light Tarot. All right. The next one is the Kai Tarot Love. This deck is so filled with energy, and look at this. Look at these beautiful, beautiful images. And this is the deck that really reminds me a lot as far as energy is concerned with Remembering the Sweet Fool. And I talked about that when I opened up Remembering the Sweet Fool. But this deck has a lot of that same type of softness in it. Look at this. It is just beautiful. And I have a very special relationship with this deck. To me, this deck is Reiki. To me, this deck is healing and softness and love and energy and lightness of being. It's just a beautiful, beautiful deck. And even see here with the Devil card, I mean, it gets its point across, but still with this level of like ease. Nothing's harsh, nothing hurts. It's just a beautiful, beautiful deck. I really, really love it. So this is the Kai Tarot Love. And you know, I'm probably going to mention this within a few videos, but part of the reason that I'm doing this and going to this whole basket method is because I just felt like I brought in too many decks last year. And like I said in another video, like I know that that's nothing compared to what other people have brought in. But for me personally, it was too much. So I really want to spend time this year going through the decks that I have on hand, my beautiful collection that I've curated here. I just want to spend time with these decks. Okay, this is the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. This is such a beautiful, beautiful deck, and I have spent some time with this deck, but I need more. This thing, look at all the cups. The cups are the suit that really, really got me. I love this Ace of Cups. It is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I think that might be my my focus for some intentional tarot type work. These aces are just gorgeous. I love them. But throughout this deck, it's filled with flowers and roses and beauty and harshness as well. So it kind of goes through the reality. This is one that I had to come to terms with. And one of my first readings that I pulled with this deck contained the cards that were most challenging for me within this deck and kind of really set me straight with my relationship with this deck. So I need to work with this a little bit more because this is a beauty. I really, really, I just feel something so special within me when I look at this deck, just looking at these images, these beautiful, beautiful paintings. But there's so many flowers. There's so much emotion. There's so much that is connecting you with the collective, plus just being part of this beautiful planet, this earth, this beautiful thing called life. I mean, it's just, it's too much. See, now I'm looking at it and I'm going through the entire deck with you because every time I look at this deck, every time I pull this out, it does something special to me. Look at the backs too. I mean, there's so much attention to detail within this deck. It is absolutely stunning. Really, really love that deck. Okay, the next one is the Lioness Oracle Tarot. So like I said, I really wanted to limit this to 10, but I do have, you know, I mentioned Remembering the Sweet Fool, and I will have another deck as a mention because I know I'm not going to stop working with it. I just know that. But this deck right here, look at this beautiful collage work. It is so cool. I just love this deck. It is super, super neat. It really makes you kind of take a step back, think a little bit. I do use the guidebook with this particular deck. There's not a whole lot written within each card, but it does make you just stop and think when you're reading this, and it just kind of makes you look a little bit deeper. I love the Four of Swords with the records. Hello, yes, I love that. But this is such a cool deck, such a cool deck. And you know, I did like a quick survey this morning, and I don't know. Like, I'm hoping that these are the 10 or the 12 that I'm really going to stick to for this month. But there could be changes. If I look around and think there could be changes. Now, this does not include, I'm just going to be straight, this does not include any work that I'm going to be doing with any moon cycles. It doesn't include any work that I'm going to be doing through in bulk. None of that is included. Ancestor work, That is completely different. But these are the decks that I think will be really good to work with during this time, to just focus on this inner beauty, this inner energy. Okay, the next, and this one, I gotta be honest, this one stays on my desk. This one is always within arm's reach. This one I use for my classes. This one I use when I need to slow down and just take some time for me. So this is a very special deck to me. This has really come into one of the most important decks within my collection. This is the Be With Your Body Tarot. These are the backs. It's been a little hard for me to pair, to be honest, but I love the deck itself. And quite honestly, this is one of the decks that I really find just using it by itself gives me such a great message. Not that the other tarot decks don't, but some of them just really speak to me all on their own without much assistance, I should say, or focus from an oracle deck. But I really love to work with tarot and oracle together. That is my jam, guys. I love that. But this particular deck, whoa, our sun just went away. Okay, that was quick. Let me see if I can adjust the lighting here a little bit, because it might be a little bit too dark at this point. Okay, I think that brought in just a tiny bit of light. I don't want to blind anybody or myself. And it seems like the sun's just going to keep going in and out because we're experiencing some thunderstorms here. But this deck is one that I can pull some cards and it just tells a story for me so easily. It's a beautiful deck, and oh my gosh, see, here we go. The sun's out again. I hope it didn't completely ruin the shot here, but I really love this deck. I did not think that I was going to like it this much. And so it's been a really good surprise for me. I really love it, and it is a way for me to work with my body through the tarot and handle my thoughts, my emotions, my earthly, my spirit, all of that. It's an amazing deck. All right, next is this guy right here, the Tarot of the Drowning World, which this deck, my goodness, this is another one of those decks where I got it. I stared at it for a long time before I bought it. I didn't join the Kickstarter. I just oomed and awed over it because these images, they really don't speak tarot. They really don't. But the images are so hauntingly beautiful. And there's so many flowers involved. There's so much abundance, that watery energy. All of that just leads into this beautiful, loving read that's not exactly like it's not an easy read, not at all. You have to get to know the deck, and you have to, like for me, I have to work with the guidebook when it comes to this deck. I really enjoy working with the guidebook, but it has this beautiful, abundant feeling to it. This emotional and abundant feeling that through working with it, you're kind of digging deeper into the real heart of the matter of being within this life and taking it all in from every area, from every perspective. It is a beautiful deck, and I don't think I'm even describing it correctly, but look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's just a beautiful deck. It's a gorgeous deck. I really love this one. And this is another one that stays on my desk. There are a few that stay on my desk, and this is one of them. So let me push that off to the side, and then I'll share the last of the 10. This is the Goddess of Love Tarot. Probably no surprise, right? Because I think a lot of people, if you have this deck, you're probably going to be working with this deck in February. And of course, it's the Goddess of Love Tarot. But this deck invites you into those more passionate sides of yourself. This one really calls you, look at that. Oh, this is such a gorgeous deck. I really, really like this deck. I mean, it is super, super cool. I love the collage work. For one, you guys know, I love collage decks. I love collage. I love photography. You know what? I should just stop because I'm just going to keep on going with what I love. But this deck reads amazing. Like, it is an amazing, amazing read. And I do love, I've seen this face in some other decks. I don't know where. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I know I've seen that face. Every time I see it, I have like a pause. But this deck is all about calling in your passion, like working within that Kundalini energy, like calling it in, being that enchantress almost, where you're really pushing into those very passionate parts of yourself and calling it in. The guidebook is very explicit with some areas that it's written, and there's beautiful like little poems and journal questions and rituals and affirmations. It is a beautiful deck. I'm going to say it again. I wish the cardstock was a little bit better, but it's nothing that's going to prevent me from working with this deck. It's not like that thick, hard cardstock. It's just kind of cardboardy, but it's not going to prevent me from working with the deck. And I do want to get a second copy of this because I think that this might wear out fairly quickly once I really start putting some more work into this. And I don't want to be, this is not a deck that I want to be without, because to me it's a very essential part of being whole and being, you know, just being, again, and I hate to keep using this, but to be within your body, to be within your mind, to be within your emotions. I think that's a very important deck. Now the other deck, so this is the other honorable mention here, is the Circle of Doors Tarot. And I know there's nothing in this deck that would indicate that it's like this loving self-love type thing based on colors, but this deck is a 5 out of 5 for me, guys. This is a beautiful, beautiful deck. I really love it. I really love the way that they address the feelings and emotions within this guidebook, and the way that you work through your issues within this guidebook by using this deck and these words, these lovely, lovely words by Brian Duffy. Amazing, amazing job on this guidebook. I'm serious. Like, the images are one thing, like it really calls you in within the images themselves, but then you open up and you read the guidebook and you're like, holy moly, man, this is craziness. So this is a Circle of Doors, and this is another one of those decks that I keep on my desk. This is never, I don't think ever gonna go far. And this might be one that I wanna, and I've talked about this, but I'm really trying to be careful with my funds. So like the Goddess of Love Tarot, I think it's like $16 on Amazon. This is a pricier deck, but it's something that I do want to have on hand because I don't want to be without this deck. So I'm going to have to put money off to the side and hope she doesn't sell out before I have money for for an extra copy because that one's beautiful. It's a keeper. Anywho, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me, and let's see which ones I pull. You will find out at the end of the month when you see my wrap up for February of 2024. Can't believe I'm saying that, 2024. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.